who do I have advancing through this 2025/2026 NFL playoff bracket? I'll tell you right now. I'll go through every single round, beginning with the wild card games. The Fantasy Football Show playoff bracket edition begins right now. Okay, so wild card games, we clearly have the Denver Broncos sitting on a bye. We've got the Seattle Seahawks sitting on a bye, so let's advance both these teams. And they await these wild card contests right here. Now, for anybody filling out one of these brackets, I got a link in the description if you want a blank bracket for your office pools or whatever, your family little bracket, and you can print it out and use the one that I have. Now, it's a little bit tricky if you don't do these a lot to know how to fill this out, because it ends up being that the Denver Broncos are going to face the worst remaining seed left. The Seattle Seahawks will face the worst remaining seed left. Think of it like this. They've earned the fact that they can play the worst remaining seed that comes out of this wild card game. They have earned the easiest path to the Super Bowl. So start off by trying to predict this 7-2 game on both sides. Let's start off with this Chargers-New England game. I totally think the Chargers have good talent. I think next year is going to be exciting. I think Hampton's an unbelievable running back. But at the end of the day, I don't see the Patriots losing this game whatsoever. They're too strong. The Chargers come in as the underdog. The Patriots are just on fire right now. Their rushing attack with both running backs is unstoppable. Drake May's unstoppable. They don't even have elite receivers yet. It's going to be amazing when Drake May progresses and has a legitimate number one wide receiver that could be argued as a top 5 future wide receiver that can develop with Drake May. Hunter Henry's playing great. The defense is, everybody's getting healthier too. So New England's just going to be tougher than people expect. And everyone's going to point to one thing. Drake May doesn't have experience. Some of these other guys have done it. That isn't always something that's going to hold a quarterback back. If anything, the guy doesn't have like old feelings like maybe Josh Allen getting in his feelings about losing again. What if this doesn't work again? Sam Darnold has turned into a pumpkin more than one time. It's probably in his head. Stafford's got one shot left, his back, and things have fallen apart for the Rams a couple times this year. And Caleb's confidence can't be higher than Drake May's. Jordan Love's got to be crapping his pants. Brock Purdy's worried about becoming Brock Turdy, and they just looked horrible last week. Everybody here has some sort of like, okay, Trevor Lawrence, will he turn back into spoiled milk? The only person that walks in with like uber confidence is on the other side of the fence in Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying he doesn't falter or the Eagles don't falter. Really, it's not the Eagles. The Eagles have the most talented roster in the league. They have a coach that is being carried by that talent in Sirianni. I think Sirianni is not the guy. I think every year he's getting carried by the offensive coordinator. And then when they lose said offensive coordinator, they have a down year. He is literally like Campbell. He's not the glue that holds the Eagles together by any means. He's just along for the ride. But back to Jalen Hurts, he's the one quarterback here walking in with tons of confidence. Bo Nix doesn't have any experience either that Drake May, everyone's saying Drake May doesn't have. And again, Josh Allen, although he probably comes in with a ton of like confidence, experience, and ability to knock off any team at any moment. And we'll talk about the Buffalo Bills in a second. It's still like the only quarterback. And on top of that, on this side of the fence, and the only quarterback that does have a lot of history of failure in these situations to reflect on, and a lot of pressure that Drake May hasn't seen. I'm moving the Patriots forward, no surprise here. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to ruin it. I don't see how they don't advance another round. Okay, so like I said, if New England wins this game, they can't face Denver because Denver's guaranteed by being the number 1 seed to play the easiest team seed-wise, right? And New England's too, so they go down here. Now, in order to find this partner, we jump over to this game first, so 6-3. If Buffalo wins, they're automatically, no matter what else happens, going to face Denver because they are the 6th seed, and they'd be the worst remaining seed since the number 7 we already knocked off. I went back and forth on this on last night's live stream. We just did a quick little rundown on this, and I went with Jacksonville, and they've been playing amazing. They've been playing outstanding. Betting against T-Law is about as risky as banking on him at this point. He does feel like he's playing amazing football right now. Liam Cohen's in his bag. Liam Cohen's amazing. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to put the Buffalo Bills advancing. And I admittedly am wavering even right now with this decision because my brain is wanting to say Jacksonville. My heart is wanting to say Buffalo. As you know, I'm a big Buffalo fan. So Buffalo is, from a fan perspective, I'm trying not to let that influence me at all. I've always been a big Josh Allen guy, always been a big Buffalo guy. So I'm definitely like torn here. But part of me keeps coming back to the fact that the Jaguars, they're a great team. They look really good. Liam Cohen's playing fantastic, but this is a game where I feel like every time I bank on Trevor Lawrence, he fails me. every time I finally accept the fact that Trevor Lawrence looks like he's back, you know, he's where he needs to be, then something happens. Now Buffalo, look, both these teams are above 12 wins, 12-5, 13-4. It's not like one of them's been dominating all year and we say the other one hasn't. You know, if we're going to say Jacksonville's been looking great all year, Buffalo's 12-5. So it's not that big of a difference. They've both been balling out. I think Buffalo, if this was in Buffalo, it'd be different. But this is a different situation, closer game, probably pretty tougher to. Jacksonville's run game is fantastic. If you can shut down the run, which is, I believe, what Buffalo is going to try and do, and you can say the same thing about James Cook, though. But Josh Allen can also win on the ground. So you got to shut down Josh Allen and James Cook, which Jacksonville could do. They have a pretty, sneaky defense. But Jacksonville, if they get their running game shut down, I think this is where Trevor Lawrence struggles. And as much as I want to bank on Trevor Lawrence being back, and I'd be glad to hit the Law Dog Milk button. In fact, I'll hit it right now just so people know what I'm talking about. But I'd be glad to come in and hit this button in excitement if Law Dog does bring the thunder and wins this game and advances. And we can literally accept that T-Law's back for 2026 at least. But I'm going to hit the button now, but I'm going to bank on the Buffalo Bills.
Law Dog Milk for mains on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Pour, soak, win. I don't know. For right now, I'm going to say Law Dog Milk is kind of like the McRib at McDonald's. It's maybe temporary. They may bring it back. They may not. I don't know. Until I see the McRib go out there and defeat Josh Allen, it is a temporary item. And I am rooting for it. I just want to see it. So we're going to go Buffalo. And again, 6 seed's going to face Denver. Now, as much as I'm proud of Aaron Rodgers and I'm excited, for him, and watching that game last night was unbelievable. Just to watch Lamar deliver 3, strikes and 3 very, very clutch throws. Lamar really did deserve to win this game. Pittsburgh just got lucky. Pittsburgh was like that meme where you're shaking hands and completely shocked that you got it done. So I think at the end of the day, Pittsburgh Steelers don't really have a shot in this game. Tomlin's way out of his league right now. Tomlin tripped and fell into a win, and he acts like he's some great coach. He might have saved his job. They still could mutually go different ways in 2026, but at the end of the day, this is a Houston Texan team. Their defense is too tough for Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be able to move the football against them. And at the end of the day, I don't love Stroud. I don't think Stroud's an amazing QB this year. I don't think Stroud is necessarily an amazing QB in this league. I think he's good enough to get by and score a few points against the Pittsburgh Steelers while this defense kind of does the rest. I don't know how far they're going to advance. In a second, you'll know, as I've already ruined that New England's going to win more than one game. So I'm going to probably say Houston wins this game, not with like a lot of uber confidence, but just that the defense alone, when things are close, I kind of lean toward the fact that they have the #1 defense in the league, and Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers can be shaky and Tomlin's shaky. So how the hell is a shaky team going to get by the #1 defense in the league? I'm going to go ahead and say Houston advances. All right, so now over on this side of the fence, we're going to start off with the 7-2 game again, because if the 7 team wins, they're going to go straight to Seattle, because they would be by default the worst pathway, or the easiest pathway for Seattle, which is what they've earned. And I'm going to go ahead and probably make that call and say the Green Bay Packers, while they aren't playing the best right now, I believe that they win this game against the Chicago Bears, because I'm just not a Caleb believer. This whole look at this magic, he's amazing. The guy has a great arm. He's probably, want me to give him flowers? Here you go. He's probably the best quarterback in the National Football League in terms of avoiding a sack. He is probably the toughest quarterback in the league to sack. How's that? That's an amazing stat, but it also comes with something that you hear Tom Brady talk about a lot, because he commentates the games. And he's like, he needs to stop holding on to the football. Like, there's a reason you're always scrambling around and having amazing plays like Caleb has. A lot of highlight reels of running around and throwing a second chance missile down the field, which again, Flowers, he has a cannon attached to his arm, an absolute cannon. And the combination of that makes for some big, exciting plays. But he holds onto the ball too long. And you're talking about a high pressure playoff situation game. And granted, Chicago's the favorite here. Green Bay's walking into this one underdog, tough environment, tough situation, opportunistic defense. The Chicago Bears can definitely cause turnovers, and this Green Bay offense can certainly create turnovers. Will they run the ball effectively? That's where this is going to live and die. If the Green Bay Packers can't run for over 120 yards on the ground, let me put it this way: if one of the running backs, Jacobs or Wilson, don't have over 100 yards on the ground, if combined they aren't excelling well above that, Chicago will win this game. It will live and die by the Chicago defense, which is leaky, allowing Green Bay to steamroll it. And if that happens, the Green Bay Packers will win this game. If not, the Chicago Bears will win this game. And then the matchups are going to be different. Then I could get this whole side of the order wrong, because if 2 goes here, then we go to 6-3 to decide if 6 can go here. And if 6 can't go there because the 3 seed wins and the 2 seed wins, then the worst remaining team would be 5 or 4. So the matchups could be different, depending on how this seeding goes. I'm going to go ahead and say Green Bay. Then coming down to this 6-3 game, we'll just stick here, even though we've already decided the 7 seed. I'm just going to say the Philadelphia Eagle defenses are going to be too hard to stop for the San Francisco 49ers. I think the Eagles advance over the Niners. I think you're talking about as leaky a defense, the San Francisco 49ers, as the Chicago Bears. And going up against this arsenal of weaponry in Philly, despite the way that they hold it back, and they truly do, it's a marvel. It's an absolute marvel how this offense cannot necessarily produce what it should produce. They have literally like 2 nuclear warheads on each side of the field. They've got one in the backfield. They literally just slow roll everybody out, but this defense is unbelievable. So mixing the potential of this offense at any one moment, because it's so talent rich, with an amazing defense, I don't think the Niners can knock off the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, the Eagles have such a ability to go through this entire right side of the bracket because of their sheer talent and not because of their coaching. If the coaching was on par, they'd be the favorite to win, and it wouldn't even be close if this team had the right coach in place. But because the talent is so great, they carry Sirianni, and he almost can't even sabotage it. Philly's going to win that game. They will advance, and they're going to face who between the 5 and 4 seeds? I'm going to say that Carolina is exciting, just like I would say Houston's a little exciting, or the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Chargers. But do they feel like New England? Do they feel like Denver? Do they feel like Seattle or Philly? No, the Carolina Panthers do not. The Rams do. But the Rams could falter. The Rams could be one bad Stafford game away from throwing it all away, no doubt about it. But they've got a lot of talent. The defense is solid. The quarterback play's been MVP level all year. And they've got Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams hopefully is healthy. But Puka Nacua is going to be just unstoppable in this game for this Carolina Panther defense. And the fact that the run attack has a dual threat, that it makes it very equally hard to stop. When you have Puka stretching the defense, you have Adams, if he's healthy, Adams a touchdown threat, and just making Puka Nacua impossible to double team, because Adams is one of the best touchdown getters in the National Football League right now. And it's going to be an unbelievable battle, one that I think it's more out of hand as the game goes on. Maybe it looks good at first. I can't see Stafford not schooling Bryce Young at the end of the day in this. I cannot see Bryce Young against the Rams defense doing all the right things the entire game. They're definitely not going to advance, in my opinion. So Rams are going to advance and face off against the Philadelphia Eagles, which might be the game of the divisional round, because damn, that's a tough one to determine. Buffalo, Denver. Give me the Denver Broncos. Their defensive line, their offensive line, they're just nearly unstoppable to a degree, and we're going to put them right there. They just keep getting it done. They get it done in the fourth quarter, but they get it done, and Buffalo doesn't have, in my opinion, yet the weaponry to advance through each of these rounds. The Bills can win any one game against any one team at any one moment. That's how good Josh Allen is. But the problem's been, and it will continue to be, in my opinion, winning consecutive games in a row without any sort of faltering, because it all comes down to Josh Allen. He's got to be perfect for 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and that's just where the problem lies. You need another superstar to allow Josh Allen to have some help. And this has always been Lamar's downside, right? That doing it by himself, and they brought Henry in and it kind of almost got him there. Even though Lamar and the Ravens haven't got it done, it's still an attempt that the Buffalo Bills need to do and make to get another superstar on the roster so that Josh Allen doesn't have to be perfect for 4 straight games. Give me the New England Patriots to face off against the Denver Broncos. I don't think Houston's offense can hang with New England's, and I think New England's defense can kind of hang with Houston's defense. It comes down to New England just scores more points in a very, very tough battle. This might be lower scoring than we want. This might be lower scoring than we want. This might be kind of you could see the boring side. Then again, it's like if the Rams aren't winning this game, this could potentially be a very low scoring game. Maybe not. A lot of firepower over here, but certainly capability of a coach to hold back the Eagles. And if the Eagles defense can hold back the Rams, it could be low scoring. This could be a shootout. While we're over here, I'm just going to say I think Seattle crushes the Green Bay Packers or whoever they end up facing out of any of the other seeds, because they wouldn't face Seattle, because they wouldn't face Philly. And I think Seattle could knock any of these teams off, and they have a pretty easy pathway to the conference championship, I believe, despite Darnold being a little bit of a, I don't know, paper tiger. But Seattle's D, absolutely fantastic. But they have enough firepower, I think more than Houston, to get by a much easier team in Green Bay than New England for Houston. This is the tough game. I said it's probably the game of the divisional round. It's probably the game of the entire bracket, maybe the toughest game. I'd say Philly, LAR. As much as I want to pick LAR, not because I'm an Eagle hater by any means, but I'm definitely a Sirianni critic. And I think Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback, but I think he is not as great as people think he is. And we'll see what happens when the tush push is taken away. Not that he can't still rush for touchdowns, but he becomes a human being and not a superhero. I'm going to probably say that the Eagles win this game. The defense is just too tough. We're going to advance the Eagles through the bracket. So we're looking at a conference championship that is Denver versus New England and Seattle versus Philly. I know that there's no exciting, 5 or 6 or 7 seed here. And normally I do like to have like a 4, but it is what it is. These are really, really tough matchups. And I just kind of see it going this way. I'm sorry it's not super ultra exciting. Denver, New England. I do believe the offense of the New England Patriots advances them to the Super Bowl. I do believe that the defense of Philly mixed with the offensive potential, again, in spots that can hang with any offense in the league. They just can't consistently because of their coaching and their play calling and just the holding back of this arsenal of weaponry. Hence why AJ Brown, the diva himself, is so frustrated. Rightfully so in some ways, but not when you're winning, and he doesn't show it right. But AJ Brown's not being used fully, and when they do use him in a solid way, they end up losing a game because it's not their game plan to use them. So it's kind of crazy. They're vulnerable. Seattle could definitely win this game. I don't want anybody to think that I'm going to pick Philly, but I know everyone's going to be like, well, Seattle can win that game. I think they can. I think they really can. I'm going to pick Philly. I think Philly's D is too tough. It's going to be these two teams. Who wins? At the end of the day, this is the toughest call aside from this game, I think, and anything can happen. And I'm not sitting here acting like I'm saying this with ultra confidence, but I'm going to say the New England Patriots, regardless of the inexperience of Drake May to play in this kind of game. I don't think that's going to matter. I think there's a lot here supporting Drake May. I'm going to make the New England Patriots Super Bowl champions. Super Bowl champions, New England Patriots. Let him cook. I just think that there's going to be a situation here. Let me get my music down. I just think there's going to be a situation here where we have a team, everything's firing off in the right ways. You've got a great quarterback in the making in Drake May, probably the number 1 fantasy football and top 3 NFL QB next year. You could say Josh Allen's 1 and Drake May's 2, or Drake May's 2, or Drake May's 1 and Josh Allen's 2. I could go either way, but very exciting quarterback that I think gets it. He knows what to do. He's smart. He's intelligent. And all the stats and data say that if there is going to be a quarterback with his inexperience in these situations that's going to be able to march through a playoff bracket like this and make at least a Super Bowl, maybe he loses against Philly. Maybe he loses against Seattle. Maybe the Niners shock everybody. But I don't think that his inexperience is going to hold him back like people think, because I've seen nothing but, I don't want to say perfection, seen from him this year, because he has had a couple moments, of course, but every quarterback does. But I've seen this guy be collective, calm, and his ability to throw downfield like no other quarterback in the league. Drake May is such a good downfield thrower, such a crazy stat too, for a young and inexperienced quarterback, and to turn the ball over so little and to have thrown one 300-yard game this year, period, is just an unbelievable stat and shows how efficient he is. Henderson, Stevenson, Diggs playing well, Hunter Henry playing well. The defense, the play calling's pretty damn good lately too. And as much as we get frustrated that Vrabel doesn't use Hendy more, they're still super ultra efficient with this rushing attack, and that will continue through both running backs. And if one went down, they wouldn't miss a beat. If anything, if Stevenson went down, he's so efficient, and he is. We got to recognize that Hendy would do everything Stevenson is doing better. And so Stevenson, Hendy, it's protected. They're going to get production on the ground. It's an impossible offense to stop, and the defense is good enough to win this battle. I think in order for someone to beat Philly, they need to have a very good defense that can hold Philly, who's not going to score a ton anyway against a good defense, hold them down to a certain number, and then all New England has to do is score X amount of points to win this game. New England, you are Super Bowl champions. Congratulations.
Let him cook.
I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Don't forget to check out my 24/7 365 Patreon, link in description, or go to patreon.com/thefantasyfootballshow. But it's a 24/7 live chat group, 365. Do it live. See you at 8 p.m. Eastern or on the next video.